So everything that happens is just it
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
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 So you can't actually escape
No.
what's looked for. Yeah.
Yeah. This is
But the
it.
one that looks for, yeah,
And
the
there's
one that
nothing.
looks and
Sorry, go ahead.
searches
Mhm.
doesn't. Sorry.
No, no,
The
go ahead.
one
Go
that
ahead.
is actually, yeah, the one that's looking and searching is actually not there.
Yeah. But it's
Is
also
that it?
it.
Yeah.
It's also it.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
is
It
it.
arises as that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything.
So it's nothing to get
So it's
rid
just
of.
that.
Nothing is missing. Nothing is needed
Yeah.
because everything is appearing as complete. It's whole. And
Yeah.
no one's choosing to do any of this, right? So
Yeah.
it's just this appearance, but it's also still.
Yeah.
It's free already. It's done.
Yeah. I feel
It's
like since listening to you, I've sort of feel more relaxed.
yeah.
It feels like I've heard it for the first time in a way.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, yeah, just in the last couple of days. So I
Oh
wanted to
wow.
talk to you. Just yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, just a
um,
second. I forgot my glasses. Just
yeah,
a second. Oh
that's
yeah,
okay.
there.
You can see now. Um, but it's almost like at the moment, it's almost like the voice is just saying, "This is it. This is it. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it."
Yeah,
Yeah,
no one's doing it anymore, right? It's almost kind of
yeah,
like the fantasy or the spell is broken.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's
Yeah.
just there's more of a relaxation
That's
and
it.
even
Yeah.
with the voice saying this is it, that's kind of fine. It's that's
It's just another noise, right? And what seems to
yeah,
be expressed here that is completely undefinable. This is
yeah,
undefinable. Although we keep on saying this is it, there's no we, of course, but
yeah,
it's just there's just this clarity that cannot be expressed, right?
yeah,
And it's not about knowing, it's not about understanding, it's just clarity for no reason at all.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
So so it's just this
It's
without
just this.
knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
unknowable. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like it's like it's like it's already a clear lake,
yeah,
and then walking through it muddies it, but it's still a
yeah,
clear lake, right? It's just this perception that arises, and all of the sand goes back.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's just
So it yeah,
yeah,
lots
and
of things happening, and a lot of things you'll say this is bad. It shouldn't be like this, but it's just all
yeah,
the same. Yeah, it's
it is
just all
all
bad.
the same. Yeah, it's all the same, and it's all there's no all and the same. You know what I'm saying? That statement doesn't even matter really. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
because
Because
it's just
it's just yeah, it's just
yeah, mm,
it's just this.
yeah,
For example, if we paused, if there was a pause button, you know what I'm saying? Without any
yeah,
definitions, without any history, without any knowledge, without any words, without any labels.
mm, it's just the same.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's this. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Without any knowledge really of what it is, and there's just a like a resignation of trying to know, trying to figure
yeah,
things out, right? Because it can't be figured out. And that's the relaxing. It's like, you know what? I can't. I'm not here doing anything anyway. So, what's the point?
yeah.
Yeah,
I think there's almost like the feeling of trying to see it how it is,
yeah,
even though it is how it is, but like you see it
yeah,
through the illusory person.
yeah.
But
Yes,
there's always the want to try to see it how it is without
yeah,
the separation.
yeah. Bingo.
Yeah,
It's done
yeah,
already. Yeah, it's done already.
mm,
It's
yeah,
and it's not even it nothing was figured out.
yeah.
Yeah. There's just a sense of
It's
kind of
just
like
like a relaxation. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's when you watch my videos, I always talk about the end game. That this is
yeah.
done already. And that seems to be a
It's already
topic. Yeah, it's like death, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's nothing to figure out because everything is already done. everything's already
Yeah.
complete, and that's even saying way too much, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing missing, and seemingly the seeking is looking for something other than this, is trying to escape this, and
Yeah.
they think they know what this is, and they have, you know, pictured what this should be, when everything is appearing as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're looking
Yeah.
for something other than this, and that keeps them in a loop of knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to
And
figure.
there's always like it's always put into things I enjoy. That's it. I like that, but
Yeah.
then I don't like that.
Yes,
So you
that's
always
what it
just
is.
kind of want to keep it the
Yeah,
good things that you like, but then you want to push away
exactly.
it,
Yeah,
like the whole. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's completely free already. Whatever appears, it's free already. It's already done.
Yeah.
It's complete. Nothing. Nothing needs to be added.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's silent. It's silent. It's silence. It's just this stunning silence, right? In everything, the
Yeah.
emptiness in everything that appears, loud, frustration, anything that appears is silent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It's like,
everything that you think you know is unknown now, right? You're like, well, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's there's a feeling of like I sort of know what's meant by, you know, just everything is, you know, when you just look at an object and
yeah,
you feel it's just
yeah,
empty.
yeah. It's like a
E-
resonance, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's
Yeah. Yeah. It's
resonating that
that.
it's
Yeah.
empty, but you can't
Yeah.
seem to know it. You know what I'm saying? Because knowing
Mm,
obscures the the clarity of what is already.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like when I was younger, I've always liked nature and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I always had when I really loved just looking at plants and stuff, but there was always this feeling of like a tension just that stopped me actually seeing it how it is.
Yeah, yeah,
There was
yeah,
something that
yeah,
there was like I was like, "Ugh," I don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
what it was,
yeah.
but it was almost like I couldn't fully see it.
Yes. Do you like
Mm,
to go running sometimes? You know, when I go running sometimes, this is when I was seeking, right? I would
yeah,
purposely go for a run so I could see the flowers, because I was so
yeah,
busy
yeah,
thinking about other things, you know, and then you don't
yeah,
really get to smell the roses and the flowers, and
yeah,
seemingly everything kind of like, oh, I've never saw that before. So it feels
yeah,
like that there's a slow motion effect now. It's kind of like, and
yeah, yeah. I
there's
know.
kind of like
Yeah,
a widening of the lens, you know what I'm saying, of perception, because you're so
yeah,
closed in when the me is kind of like ruling
yeah,
the majority. It's clouding everything with me stories and me wants and me dislikes,
yeah,
um and it just this, it's like someone switched on the light, and
yeah,
everything,
yeah,
you know, and all of the shadows of thoughts and um ideas, memories, anything that's kind of like, you know, gets brought up, and it was really nothing.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. There's
So how long have you been
I
seeking
get
apparently for this, Ashley? You said that you went to Andrea's. Were you seeking for quite a while?
um about 2 years, just
Oh
when
wow.
COVID sort of started around. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, less than 2 years.
Yeah.
But then with the not the proper non-duality, like real this
Yeah.
message, about a year.
Okay.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah.
Was it scary in the beginning?
No,
Oh
never.
wow. Was the resonance right
Mm,
away?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So there was openness already there, right? You just probably
yeah,
needed
definitely.
some kind of like rearranging, because you know what, some people get caught up sometimes in the statement nothing is everything. It becomes a belief, you know, it becomes
Yeah,
a structured idea of what should be, and you
yeah,
know, in my talks, if you notice it, I just go gymnastics with a whole bunch of different things, and
yeah,
it throws off the seeker a little
yeah. I
bit, right?
like
It's kind of
how.
like
Yeah. Mm, yeah. I've never had this. I've never been scared really. I don't
yeah,
know. I've always I've always liked spending a lot of time on my own and being in nature, and sort of the idea
Yeah.
of getting lost and is,
Yes.
I know that's just a story and an
Oh,
idea,
I
but
like that
still,
too.
yeah,
I like that feeling too of being lost. Have you been to a country that
yeah,
no one speaks your language and you're just like in the middle of nowhere and
yeah, I love that. Yeah,
you're trying to
yeah,
like, how do I get there? And that feeling of loss and uncertainty, you know what I'm saying? The
yeah,
surprise, right? Because this is always a
yeah,
surprise.
yeah,
It's not about the comfort zone, you know what I'm saying? And spirituality usually or applied non-duality usually has that comfort zone if there's something that I can do to get there. And this is
yeah,
kind of like you're basically in thrown off of all of that ideas and so the stuckness gets untangled.
yeah,
So that's why there's this feeling of easiness and relaxation because it's been untangled.
yeah,
That there's really nothing that's needed to know, and it's freedom. It's unconditional freedom. So whatever arises is what is, and it's not about a state even, right? Because when I was into that consciousness and everything, I would try to get go into silence or abide in awareness and all that kind of stuff. If you did the other stuff,
yeah,
and it was just temporal. Whatever begins also ends, right? So this is the
yeah,
permanence of things, of the ever changing happening, because what seems to be
yeah,
happening um, seemingly always changes, although nothing's moving, right? So whatever arises,
mm,
it could be illness or or someone dying or something. There's just
yeah,
it's all empty.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's
and it's,
there's just this unwavering contentment of whatever seems to be happening.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like trying to just feel really relaxed and forgetting about all the other, everything that's going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Although, saying although it's kind of like funny because everybody was talking about, it should be no thoughts and everything. I'm like, well, you know what?
Mm,
It's just what's happening. It's not even there really. So after
yeah,
my 4 days, it was kind of funny because I'm like, that was there was just this contentment. So I don't think about thoughts anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
it's been 4 years of this clarity, and
yeah,
then I sat down and I'm like, oh yeah, there's not that, but there was just silence. The silence was just so
yeah,
deafening that any thoughts, if watching that right didn't have a chance of appearing. So there are
yeah.
no problems and everything. The problem with that one is I was sitting in a park for 6 hours grinning. You know what I'm saying? While my dog was just
Yeah.
running
All
around.
right.
And I'm like, oh, I have
Yeah.
to take my mom shopping and everything, that kind of thing. Or
Yeah.
I have a one-on-one coming up and everything. Um, but it's whatever appears is it. You know what I'm saying? It's not about maintaining that, right? If we lived in caves, that
Yeah.
would be nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not an idea of what it should be because everything that appears is what it is. So I'm not concerned about, dropping my thoughts because there are no thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the apparent, and this is just a story because nothing happened at all. I did not do anything.
Yeah.
He never did anything. There's
Yeah.
going to be some rebounding sometimes of kind of like stuckness and everything, right? But that's also it.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
some morning, maybe after drinking a couple of beers, there's going to be kind of like some chatter. And then sometimes
Yeah.
you'll get caught up with it, and sometimes you laugh at it because you're like, oh wow, that's just what's happening. It's
Yeah.
all emptiness just playing. You know what I'm saying? It's just a play of empty, 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 empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've recently seen that if I say something now that is so untrue.
Yes. Yeah.
Like if I say I'm going to be healthy for the next week, I'll
Yeah.
probably eat something unhealthy in the next 2 hours.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, totally. Yeah.
so
There's there's
there's yeah,
this there's this liar, you know what I'm saying, that just keeps on
yeah,
lying. You know what I'm saying? That
just
that it's just
it's like
someone.
every thought is almost a lie. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's almost a self-improvement to maintain itself. You know what I'm saying? With
mm,
seeking anyway, right? How do I improve myself? Maybe I will have no me anymore, or maybe I will have no
yeah,
thoughts anymore. But what's missed is that's just the me, the character,
yeah,
inserting itself in prominence. Even in non-prominence, it still
yeah,
wants to be there. So
Yeah.
So there's always going to be this felt sense of realness, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there's also this deep sleep now.
Mm.
It's not a
Yeah.
chaotic nightmare anymore of trying to seek or something, right? And
Yeah.
it's just this free falling, you know what I'm saying? All the ideas, you're catching it now, right? You can, it's just bullshit, basically. Um,
Mm.
and then you just can't help to laugh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah. Yeah.
it's retired, nothing is needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the decisions just make their,
Yeah,
the body just does its own thing, like
it does. Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh? It's crazy. This is like
Yeah.
automatic. Everything is automatic. Everything is on
Yeah.
autopilot. No driver needed. And that's the unconditional freedom that everyone keeps on talking about, that speaks about this, right? And different
Yeah.
flavors. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
talk about it with excitement. Sometimes I
Yeah.
over talk about it, you know, saying, but it's also what is, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because sometimes I'll go through like phases. Sometimes I drink and party a bit too much.
Hmm.
And then in Greece with Andreas, he drinks a lot, like when he's in Greece, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna get, I'm never gonna be able to escape.
Yeah.
But I think it's just when he's in Greece, like he just joins
It's
in
he's
and
on
really
vacation mode,
enjoys it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's like, oh, I shouldn't do this, but it's like it's just happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has no control. Obviously, it's just
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it
he
is
just
what
no.
is. That's
It's just what
unconditional
it is. Yeah,
freedom. Yeah. You
yeah,
know, saying it's like it robs everyone of its specialness. And that's the
yeah,
best. Because
yeah,
when I was seeking, I was always looking for someone special to point out that I'm special too. This one was like,
yeah,
there's no one here. So there's no
yeah. You
room
want
for
to be special.
specialness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess for Andreas, he's not going to care about, there's no one. So why would he be like, oh, what about my health? Or, it's not, it's, he's more like unlikely to have those thoughts. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they can
Af-
still happen, I guess.
yeah, after the 4 days, I just did a 4 days event, you know, and
Yeah.
it was like 4 days of 6 hours of speaking, you know, each
Wow.
day, right? So
Yeah.
afterwards, because I'm a DJ, I can like put on some music and everyone's just dancing around. And
Yeah.
then I got a call, you know, someone said, "Hey, Emerson, you know what? We might not have a DJ tonight. Can you
Yeah.
DJ?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, yeah, sure, I'll be there right away." So my dancing continued,
Yeah.
the party continued. Drank a couple of beers.
Yeah.
I like drinking beer, but not too much, you know, because I used to
Yeah.
be whatever. I used to drink to black out, not anymore.
Yeah.
But seemingly
Yeah.
my body kind of like um it
It doesn't
stops.
like it anymore.
It
Yeah.
stops. It
Yeah.
stops. You know, saying kind of
Mm.
like it stops, and I just go home and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then the next day, even with like two, well, I'm older too. You know, 2 3 beers, there's a hangover feeling, and I enjoy it now because it
Yeah.
just becomes kind of like a day of watching Netflix or whatever. You know, saying it's just,
Yeah.
but seemingly that the day after, you know what, I was just kind of like walking my dog, and then there was just this undeniable clarity you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we were talking about thoughts, and I can't seem to figure out. And then I'm like, oh, it's absent. It's not there. You know what I'm saying? Although that
Yeah.
seems like a thought, but it's not like an app anymore that reacts, you know what I'm saying? There's no more reaction to it. So it's almost
Yeah.
like on demand, but it's absent. It's like on demand. Kind of like, what am I eating today? I'm like, yeah, it's automatic, you know what I'm saying? It's just on demand. So there are none, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a conversation usually, because someone will say that, well, for ultimate liberation there should be, which is just another thought. There should be
Yeah.
no thoughts, and you're just like in, sitting,
Mm.
in pure ecstasy, in pure kind of like
Yeah.
satori or whatever. Um that's cool, you know what I'm saying? But that's just the state. This is the
Yeah.
permanence of everything, state or no state, right? Because the state ends. There's no
Yeah.
such thing as a permanent illusion. You know what I'm saying? It's not possible, because that's just another
No.
illusion.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
so it's just kind of like, it just struck me silent that there are no noise anymore. And I was just like, this
Mm.
is, And I was just there kind of like drowning in silence, you know what I'm saying? Just laughing my head off. And this is after
Yeah.
4 years of clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Nothing really matters anymore. So it's not really necessary even to lose thoughts because they were not there in the first place. So it's
Yeah.
complete. It's complete. You know what I'm saying? It's done. It's done there too.
Yeah.
There's just a story of
But then,
time.
yeah. But then, do you still get the thoughts that you need, like when you need to remember your
Yeah,
shopping and
yeah.
stuff like that?
Like
Yeah.
it's like on
Yeah.
demand.
Yeah. So it's just like, dun. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's on
Yeah.
demand.
It's just
It's like a yeah.
yeah.
Because I never thought about thoughts because there's no thoughts here anymore. So it never really gets discussed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And um and when I speak to apparent characters, when they say that well, there's still a lot of thoughts, I see that as emptiness now. It's empty. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So even if there's an appearance or a felt sense chatter or something, what's wrong with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
It's
wrong
like
with that?
if you get a thought, it's like the thought to brush your teeth. You're not going to get angry, are you? It's
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah. Totally,
yeah.
totally. So
You're not going to. Oh
the
God, it's
cessation
just
or the
natural.
repressing of
Yeah.
something that is just an appearance is reinforcing it. And then creating a
Yeah.
state of an illusory state of you know of awakeness that is just a delusion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is the
Yeah.
normalcy and the clarity of things that there's nothing needed, no states or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. And that's what I like
Yeah.
about this is because um when when I was in spirituality, it was so serious, man. I don't know if you've been to this spiritual thing.
I did. Yeah. I
It,
got into it for a year and read a lot of books and a lot of talks and
so
yeah.
serious, you know. If this is an illusion, how come no one's laughing
Yeah.
in the
I
spiritual
know.
circles anymore, right?
Yeah.
Um,
God, it's so like
yeah,
restricted.
it is. So
Yeah.
with my meetings, I can't help but giggle most of the time. You know, it's just
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
laugh fest. It's just
Yeah. I know. I know.
because it's nothing serious anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm starting to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something's happening. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is funny. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like this is like a party and no one's dancing. You know what I'm saying? In spiritual circle, dance,
Yeah.
get wild, get
Yeah.
loose.
Yeah.
It's just the enjoyment of what is, not a denial, not a negation. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what is, and whatever seems to
Yeah.
appear is just what is, right? And or kind of like when it's sadness, it's sadness. You know what I'm saying? If um I'm not a monarchist or anything like that, but when I saw the queen, you know, the 96-year-old, I'm like, oh, that's sad for no reason at
Yeah.
all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. It
it's
just
just it's just
comes up.
sad.
Yeah.
It's like
Mm.
someone's grandma. You know what I'm saying? So there's
Yeah.
sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. For no reason whatsoever, not resisting it or not denying it or not, questioning it. It's just
Yeah.
sadness. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there's grief, it's grief. If there's pain, there's pain.
Yeah.
It is what it is. What's wrong with any of this? Nothing.
It's
It's
like
not
no
like
more trying to get like escape. Yeah.
no, it's
What
like
is?
it's like waking up from a nighttime dream and taking notes, you know what I'm saying, of what's wrong in the nighttime dream. And
Yeah.
and trying to figure out what can be done to change that when it already happened, when it's already done. This is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's easy to say that the nighttime dream's just not real straight away, but
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
just the same.
But if there's no time, what's the nighttime? What's daytime?
Yeah, it's
Both are
just all
illusions. Yeah.
not happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, brilliant.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny. There's another person today, and this is not
Yeah.
not like a technique or there's no I never did anything, but apparently this person um just ended up binge watching me for the whole 2 months, and
Yeah.
basically said in the beginning, basically saying that well at least this guy's explain things. You know what I'm saying? He's talkative.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he goes, but he
Yeah.
just enjoyed the
Yeah.
laughter, and at the end he was like saying, I was just laughing along with it. I didn't understand any of it. And then it struck
Yeah.
me that, oh, there's no more seeking energy. So he was just relaxed, you know, and he was
Yeah.
just, we were just talking the same thing, you know, because he's been listening to this, and then he goes, oh, there's a new speaker or something, and you know, he tried to listen. He was just really serious in the beginning, and then um, since he was binge watching it, and I guess I released a lot of videos. There's always new ones
Yeah.
that's coming out.
Yeah. So he's seen them all.
Yeah, you see them all. You
Yeah.
see them all,
Yeah.
and we just had a conversation. He goes, I actually goes, I'm so sorry for saying this, but I just unsubscribed from your YouTube channel because he goes, I like it, you know, saying I still really like it, but the he goes, I want to travel, and he goes,
Yeah.
I'll subscribe again after my travel. I'm like, travel, man, you don't need to listen to this anymore. You know, he goes, I like
Yeah.
it. I like it. He goes, it's just a comedy thing right now, but your notifications keeps on popping up. You know, saying there's a new video, and he wants to travel. Traveling happens. You know, saying it's just it's not necessary,
It,
but also if you are
yeah.
attracted listening to it, why not?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
funny actually, because when I went to see Andreas in Greece, I actually spent quite a few. I missed lots of the meetings. I just stayed in my room on my own and didn't even care. So it was
Oh,
strange. But it's like I obviously went to Greece, spent a lot of money, but I still didn't feel like I needed to. I wasn't missing out on the talks,
yeah,
and didn't have any questions really.
yeah,
I just wanted a little chat, like once I think with
yeah,
Andreas. Just it wasn't a question. It was just,
yeah,
is this it or something? Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but yeah,
yeah. It's
yeah.
just
It
relaxed.
is something's relaxing.
You didn't go drinking
That's
with
all.
him. You should
Oh
have had
yeah,
a cup. You
2
did.
days.
Okay, good, good.
I did a little bit. Yeah,
That's the best.
I did a little bit. Everyone, yeah, they're a bit. I did feel a bit bad,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So what?
hangovers
Yeah.
aren't the best, are they? They're not the
Yeah.
best feeling, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't stop. Yeah, you
You
can't
got.
choose to not drink, especially not in Greece.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
but
just
yeah,
the end of whatever. I'm going to stop this now. The recording. Thank you
yeah,
so much.